This is the true story of Elizabeth Murray, known to many as Liz, a young girl whose life takes a heartbreaking turn when circumstances force her onto the streets. She has no food to eat, no clothes to wear, and no place to call home. Yet, deep within her, there's something extraordinary, something rare, that sets her apart and ultimately transforms her entire life. As the film Homeless to Harvard begins, we're taken into a home in New York City that's in a state of complete disarray. The bathroom is so filthy that bathing requires standing on a bucket placed over the bathtub because the drain system is broken and unusable. Liz lives in this rundown apartment with her mom, dad, and older sister. Both her parents struggle with addiction. Whenever her mother craves drugs, she takes whatever little money Liz and her sister have, even if it's barely enough for food. Her father spends most of his time glued to a quiz show on TV, completely disconnected from the reality of their household. Liz and her sister often don't have enough to eat, and sometimes are forced to dig through trash bins just to find something edible. Despite knowing how broken her family situation is, Liz still loves her mother deeply. But her mother's behavior begins to disturb the neighbors. The constant chaos and erratic actions lead them to call the police. When the officers arrive, they take Liz's mother away. Her mental health has deteriorated significantly due to excessive substance use. Liz doesn't want to be separated from her mom, but she's helpless as the police escort her mother out of the house. There's not a single thing in Liz's life which brings her joy. When she goes to school, her classmates constantly mock her. Her clothes carry a strong odor, her hair is tangled, and there's no one at home who takes care of her. Everyone calls her the smelly girl. But despite all this, one person sees her differently, her teacher. Even though Liz barely attends school, she consistently scores high marks. Her intelligence shines through, and her teacher admires her for it. One day, the teacher calls Liz over, offers her some clean clothes, and gently reminds her that she only shows up once or twice a month. She encourages Liz to come to school every day. But Liz is deeply entangled in the chaos of her home life. Nothing feels right to her, not even school, despite being exceptionally bright. Time passes, and eventually, her mother returns home. She's noticeably calmer now and still loves Liz dearly. She opens up to her daughter, revealing that years of injecting drugs have left her with a severe illness, one that has no cure. She tells Liz that she must quit using drugs, but staying in this house makes that impossible. Liz's father is still addicted, and he won't let her recover. So, her mother decides to leave and move in with her own father. Liz doesn't want that to happen. She knows her maternal grandfather is a cruel and toxic man. She also doesn't want to leave her dad alone, but her mother has no choice. She takes Liz's older sister and moves out, leaving Liz behind. A few days pass, and we see Liz eating plain biscuits with water. It's a quiet but powerful image that speaks volumes. Her father isn't taking care of her at all. Liz has completely stopped going to school. Concerned by her absence, her class teacher arrives at Liz's home, accompanied by the child welfare authorities. Upon witnessing the condition of Liz's home, they decide to take her into protective custody. Her father doesn't resist. In fact, he hands over her belongings without hesitation. Liz doesn't want to leave, but his cold response makes it clear he doesn't want her to stay either. Liz is sent to a shelter home, but life there is far from easy. The environment is harsh, and the other girls constantly bully her. One even spills hot food on her intentionally, and everyone laughs. But Liz chooses to stay quiet and keep her distance from the negativity around her. Few months later, she visits her mother, and seeing her brings a rare moment of happiness. Her mom looks healthier and more stable. She tells Liz that she's quit all forms of substance use. Liz also learns that the house she used to live in with her dad has been seized by authorities because he couldn't pay the rent. Her mother urges her to focus on her education. She helps Liz enroll in a new school, where she finally makes a friend named Chris. One day, when Liz's grandfather isn't home, she invites her school friends over. They're all enjoying themselves until her mother suddenly returns, intoxicated. It becomes painfully clear that she had lied about quitting drugs. Liz's friends begin to mock her, but Chris steps in and asks everyone to behave respectfully. The group leaves, and Liz gently helps her mother bathe and puts her to bed. Later that night, Chris opens up to Liz, revealing a long-held childhood secret that had caused her deep pain for years. Hearing this, Liz suggests that Chris stay with them. Chris is overwhelmed with gratitude, but just then, Liz's grandfather arrives and tries to forcefully kick Chris out of the house. Liz pleads with him, explaining that Chris has nowhere safe to go. Her words fall on deaf ears. That moment becomes a turning point. Liz decides she can't stay in that house either. Together, she and Chris make a bold decision to leave their homes behind and start a new life, side by side. Liz and Chris are just 15 years old. In a world so vast, they have no place to call their own. Some nights, they sleep at metro stations, other times on sidewalks, and occasionally sneak into friends' homes for shelter. They have no source of income, no way to support themselves. Out of desperation, they sometimes steal food from supermarkets just to survive. Once again, Liz visits her mother, whose condition has worsened significantly. Liz tells her that she's been staying with friends. Her mother, despite her own suffering, urges her not to give up on her education, no matter what happens. Liz leaves, carrying those words in her heart. She still has no stable place to live, and her life remains filled with hardship. Yet, her love for her mother never fades. One day, Liz goes to the spot where her mother usually drinks with friends, hoping to see her again. But her mother isn't there. That's when someone informs her that her mother passed away 2 days ago. The news shatters Liz completely. She visits the burial site, only to discover that her maternal grandfather didn't even bury her mother properly. Her body still lies in a box. Liz lays herself over the box, lost in memories of the moments she shared with her mom. The grief is overwhelming. Determined to move forward, Liz returns to the community center school, hoping to re-enroll. But she's late for admission. She pleads, saying she truly wants to study. The staff introduces her to the head of the school, who hands her a form and asks her to write an essay. Liz pours her heart into it, writing about her dreams with sincerity and depth. When the head reads it, he's moved and agrees to admit her, but only if she brings a guardian. Liz then visits her father, who now lives in a shelter home. She tells him about her desire to go back to school and asks him to accompany her. Though reluctant at first, she convinces him. He awkwardly speaks to the school head, but completes all the necessary steps for her admission. Before returning to the shelter, he shares a painful truth. He has the same illness that took her mother's life. He urges Liz to stay focused on her studies. And with that, he walks away. Tears fill Liz's eyes, but her heart is firm. She's made a promise to herself. She will fulfill her mother's dream, the one her mom always held close, to see Liz excel in her education. From that moment on, Liz throws herself into her studies with relentless determination. When she receives an A- on a test, the head of the school gently tells her, "I want you to aim for an A." He believes in her potential and wants to see her rise far beyond her circumstances. Motivated by this support, Liz begins attending 10 classes a day. Her goal is ambitious. She wants to complete high school before turning 21. Normally, this would take 4 years, but Liz is determined to finish in just 2. She studies late into the night, often staying at school to keep learning. Alongside her studies, she also works a part-time job to support herself. One day, she runs into her old friend Chris. Seeing her brings a wave of happiness. Liz invites Chris to join her at school, hoping they can study together. But Chris brushes off the suggestion. Soon after, Liz's results are announced, and she's stunned. She's earned the highest marks in the entire school. She's the top student. Because of her achievement, Liz is taken to Boston. She can hardly believe it. The head of the school organizes a trip for Liz and other students to visit Harvard University. As Liz walks through the campus and sees the students, she's overwhelmed. She never imagined a place like this could be part of her future. A new dream begins to sparkle in her eyes, and the head of the school notices it. He tells her, You can study here too, but it will take hard work. Inspired, Liz returns and pushes herself even harder. She wants to earn a scholarship. One of her teachers tells her about a competition organized by the New York Times. The winner will receive full admission to Harvard University, with all expenses covered by the newspaper. Liz focuses on her studies with even more intensity. She completes 4 years of coursework in just 2. At 18, she submits her essay for the competition. In it, she shares her life story, how she endured hardship with her parents and sister, and how she fought her way out of those dark times. Her essay is selected, and now she must prepare for the final step, the interview. But Liz doesn't have anything suitable to wear for her interview. So, she turns to her older sister, hoping to borrow clothes. Her sister, however, is emotionally drained and struggling with her own health. Her vision is fading, a condition their mother also suffered from. Despite everything, Liz puts on her sister's clothes and heads to the interview. There, she shares her life story with the panel. Her intelligence shines through. She completed 4 years of high school in just 2, and she graduated at the top of her class. After hearing her journey, the editor takes her aside and tells her privately that she's won the competition. Liz is overwhelmed with joy and hugs him tightly. The next day, at a press conference, it's officially announced that Liz is the 6th girl to win this prestigious competition. This means she now has the opportunity to study at Harvard University. When asked how she achieved this, Liz responds with honesty. In her life, hard work was the only option. She embraced it fully, and through that dedication, she managed to bring her life back on track. Everyone applauds her. As she walks away from the event, cameras flash and people take her photos. Liz becomes a source of inspiration for many. She accomplished something that most would consider impossible. Her story reminds us that no matter how tough life gets, we must face our challenges head on. Hard work should never be abandoned, because it's the one tool that can truly turn our circumstances in our favor. Liz's journey isn't just a story, it's a living testament to the power of resilience. She teaches us that even when life feels unbearably heavy, when the world turns its back and every door seems closed, there's still one force that can break through the darkness: relentless effort. She didn't have privilege, comfort, or even a safe place to sleep, but she had a fire inside, a quiet, unshakable belief that she could rise. Her life reminds us that hard work isn't just a path, it's a lifeline. It's the bridge between despair and hope, between being forgotten and becoming unforgettable. Liz didn't wait for miracles. She became one. And if she can do it, so can we. So if this story stirred something in you, if it made you pause, reflect, or feel even a flicker of hope, then let's keep that spark alive. Support our channel, share this journey, and help us bring more stories like Liz's to light. Because somewhere out there, someone is waiting to hear that it's possible. And maybe, just maybe, your support will help them believe it.